Clair Obscure Expedition 33 has outright just exposed the entire gaming industry. And you know what? It's not even funny how badly they exposed the industry. We're talking about an indie game that was made from around 30 or so people. And what's even funnier about that is not is it just 30 people, it is 30 ex Ubisoft developers. You know, the same people, you know, the same team that just crafted probably the most controversial Assassin's Creed game that I've seen in recent memory. And these ex-dev team left, got laid off, fired, anything of that nature. They teamed up and they said, you know what? Let's make something that has heart, that has soul, that has emotion, that has everything that you would need to make a great RPG. They went far as back and using older classic JRPGs, the things that make JRPGs great, like the best type of games you could think that has like just genuinely just great stories. And they decided to craft a turn-based RPG that's a serious, and I mean this, it is already being praised throughout every single outlet. You go on Twitter, you go on YouTube, you go on any other form of social media, and it's being known as being the Game of the Year contender. And in today's video, I kind of just want to talk about Clair Obscure Expedition 33 for like my little first impressions on like why I believe this game is just going to be Game of the Year. And just outright, as by the time I just finished this video, you will just already know that like, damn, this game has every right to be up there as one of the Game of the Years. And this is just from a team of 30 people. So one thing right off the bat that we need to understand is the story, the thing that crafted this thing, the thing that got me immediately hooked right from the jump. And it's just showing the weight of death and the paintress, right? So the game masterfully portrays this profound sorrow surrounding that the paintress deadly canvas, right? Imagine scenes where people gather not in celebration of life, but to acknowledge their impending doom. The atmosphere in itself is overall heavy and palpable, right? The game does a great job at showcasing the travesty of how people feel about the death from the paintress. It's very dark in its own right when everyone just gathers around for the last few minutes. Like, you notice this within the first 30 minutes of playing the game. Like, this is the tutorial, essentially, the prologue on how to break your fucking heart. Because goddamn, it broke my heart. Like, you in the opening prologue, you can actually walk around, talk to the different civilians in the courtyard as they have like different opinions on people losing their lives. And it really shows a diverse perspective on the cycle of death, those lost on expeditions versus those who were claimed by the paintress. And you can honestly feel their pain and just overall resignation of just like, damn, this is a fucked up cycle. Expeditions go out to take care of the paintress. Boom, they fail. They die. The mission is over. The paintress paints and more lives are lost, and this continued to happen. Apparently, she showed up around year 100 or so like that. So it's been almost 67 expeditions that have went through by the time the game begins. When you're inside of chapter 1 and you like once you get past the prologue. Now, here's my thing about the prologue. Just the way just watching the paintress write number 33. Now, just to give you guys a premise of what to expect about this. So every time the paintress paints a number or a new number, essentially, whoever is of that given age dies. Now, when the game starts, they are currently got 34 written on there. That means whoever writes 30, when the paintress writes 33, all of those people of that age just vanishes. They just evaporate like Thanos snapped them out of existence. And it's just like, oh my God. So like I said, the first 30 minutes it really broke me. I was like, dude, I almost shed a tear just looking at this. And it's so sad to see overall, like as you journey with Gustav, once you get past the prologue, after watching everyone just pass away, and just watching like all the kids that you met in the courtyard lose their parents, and then just like watching somebody you love just evaporate in your own arms. Oh man, it's so bad. And of course, like I said earlier, it's a tale of two different coins. You have people who go on expeditions and people who want to just enjoy their last year with their loved ones. And our boy Gustav, our main protagonist in the game, is one of those people who is going to the expedition, but the one person that he loves, you find this out within like the first 5 minutes of booting the game up, you find out that it's her turn, and it shows that he has this anger and revenge. And then like once you get to chapter 1, you can actually get to do the expedition. And this is not really spoilers. Like I said, you learn this within the first moments of playing the game. But when you get to your expedition to go after the painters, the remnants of past failed expeditions, which is vividly illustrate why that the painter's terror always continue. You can physically see why everyone failed. This time around, we're hoping that we can actually succeed. There's a lot of hope, and our own expedition itself faces this reality almost immediately upon arriving, which also shows a dangerous precedent that is going to happen. And it understands like why these expeditions failed. Like only a certain few amount of people can actually do this expedition, but they never make it. And oh my god, the story was the initial draw for me after seeing the initial reveal trailer. I've been covering this game since its initial reveal trailer. I have so many videos on the channel just talking about Expedition 33, reacting to what to expect, and the development team has truly delivered on that promise overall. And just overall, once you get more into the game, you actually can see that the game world itself is just impressively massive. It feels very grand in scale, hinting at quite an extensive exploration with a huge amount of world building as we attempt to take down the paintress. Now that right there, this story alone is what gave me just so much, like I needed to play this game. I needed to see how the story goes. I quite enjoy these themes. I like more darker toned like literature out there, or darker toned stories to like accept. Like it's something I quite genuinely enjoy, and the story that the dev team got through, it's just crazy to overall think about like, damn, this is what got I like this. And just seeing how beautifully crafted they designed the storytelling just at the very beginning, it gets anybody hooked within almost minutes of playing the game. And I have to give props to the dev team for making something this good for a story. And just like I said, this is my first impressions. I haven't even beat the game yet. I can't wait to actually fully beat the game and see exactly how Gustav's story ends. But of course, we can't talk about a Game of the Year contender without the main thing that you'll be doing: combat. So there are core mechanics with, and it's a traditional mechanics with a twist. At its heart, the combat itself is a traditional turn-based RPG, but it does introduce modern engaging mechanics. You have many different options. There's of course your defensive options, and then you have your offensive options. Starting off with a little bit about the defensive options, we have on your turn, you have the ability to parry, dodge attacks, and just overall adding a layer of skill. And when you're attacking or you're on the offense, you can do like precise timing of your button presses to maximize the damage. You can just overall attack, you can heal, you can do a lot of things when it's like mainly on your turn. The best way to think of this game's combat is that it's turn-based with real-time combat at its exact core. Your party actions are based on an AP system. You can do regular attacks to build your meter. Once you have enough points, you can then use your skills, which will also burn through your AP points. If you want to gain them back, you can parry enemy attacks, which I feel the parry window is pretty tight. Once you learn it, you can almost parry anything. But if you do utilize a skill, you have the timing system appear, which time your button presses, you can deal more damage to your enemies. And one thing that when it came to the timing your button presses, the main thing that I always kept saying when it came to Clair Obscure Expedition 33 is that it's significantly more advanced and nuanced version of Legend of Dragoon's combat system. Back in the PS1 days, Legend of Dragoon had a very similar combat system without the parrying and dodging and all that stuff. You could even do a free aim as well, which I found was pretty cool. Was like if you want to deal a single point amount, well, not a singular point amount of damage, but you want to actually pinpoint one of the main enemy's weaknesses, you could do a free aim, which also goes in tangent with your turn. So when you free aim, you don't actually lose your turn. That means you could deal even more damage. Now, like I was saying, like all of your party's actions are governed by your AP, your action points, right? Now, overall, you can intangibly spend them and gain them back. Like I was saying, like you have to do everything. You need to be parrying, you need to be dodging your attacks, you need to be trying to maximize the damage. And I actually genuinely enjoy that. So they didn't really go with the entire idea that like, oh, you know, let's just make turn-based system just boring or the same old thing. Now there's a lot of JRPGs out there with so many different combat systems, and this game definitely enjoys that. Like, we're trying to evolve the genre, like enlarge the entire medium and just showcase that turn-based system video games are not dead. And they were one of the major turning points for a lot of RPGs, but it shows that it's not bad. Like, if you do it right and you has a good system, it can make most games feel great all the time. And then of course the skill timing, right? Yeah, like I said, just being able to maximize the damage. I truly enjoy keeping people engaged when it comes to playing your game. A lot of people nowadays in the modern day time period, so to speak, you gotta think like you gotta make sure people are actually engaged at all times. If I feel like people who get into turn-based games, and I hear this complaint a lot, is that a lot of people just sit there just like, man, I just can't do turn-based. It's too slow. It's too monotonous. It's too whatever. Like, I'm just bored. I'm just sitting here. I don't like waiting on the other person's turn. This right here truly adds that level of quality that can bring in fans who are not fans of turn-based. I feel like anybody in my audience out there who's not a fan of turn-based systems, I feel like giving Expedition 33 a good try and will kind of get you a better idea of what turn-based can actually be. But we move on forward. Combat is great. It's definitely one of the things I noticed when it came to the reveal trailer, but we gotta talk about, and this is right here, how the hell do other video games, AAA games, cannot get this right? And it's visuals. It's the overall visuals, because holy shit, this game looks absolutely beautiful. It is a masterpiece in how the visuals are. It's genuinely mind-blowing that a team of only around 30 people achieved this level of visual fidelity. And it just shows that indie games are increasingly surpassing AAA titles in quality and in money. Because keep in mind, for all the gameplay footage you're seeing on screen right now, this game retail price is $50. If you want the deluxe edition, spend an extra $10, so it makes it at $60. But also, it's free on Game Pass as well. So not only do people who are Game Pass subscription users get a free game that is practically game of the year, if you want to support the devs or outright buy the game, it's $50. It is not $80. It is not this $90 bullcrap that Nintendo is pushing. And it's outright making Sony look a little bit bad too. And as well as making a lot of other developers who just seem to be a little bit more greedy, because their excuse is, well, this game took forever to make. Well, this game it has the Unreal Engine 5 visuals. Like, no, this game really just shows that once a dev team can actually be free from the corporate bullshit that we go through in the gaming industry, once dev teams are actually free and they can actually sit there and make a game that they feel like they love, and they can put their heart, their soul into these games, we can always get very great games at good prices. It does not need to be almost pushing $100 just to enjoy things. You gotta think, most of these games help people kind of leave their real world and just try to immerse themselves into your video games. And another thing that also helps amplify the visuals is the user interface. It's clean, It's intuitive, but I do and can say this. I particularly love how the user interface aesthetic seamlessly integrates with the game's narrative theme, just creating quite a cohesive experience, and everything just feels just like almost steampunk. It's like steampunk. Of course, it has like that French type of feel to it because it is the game takes place in France essentially. But it's really the artistic direction played parts in both the overall maneuvering of the menus and the UI, and just overall exploring the open world. Like when you're in the main city, when you're actually in chapter 1 and chapter 2, when you're outright exploring, all of the things we saw in the trailers were definitely true. And actually, I feel like the trailers did not do it justice when it comes to the visuals. And to complement the visuals, because of course you need this in almost any RPG, and remember we're paying homage to how JRPGs are, but the OST, man, the musical score is fucking phenomenal. The OST is absolutely incredible at that. Like I can't even think of the actual words to talk about how good the music is, and the way like the piano in the background when things need to be somber and sorrow, it really just dials it back down. And like the sound design during the entire prologue was incredibly moving and emotionally resonant. Like I said, everything amplified the fact of like, this is why a lot of people I keep hearing who all play the prologue alone, it's like, damn, if you can make me cry within the first 30 minutes of your video game, you did it. Like this game, it has it all. It checks all the boxes, so to speak. And not to mention the voice acting across the board is quite strong. And I just found this out, but being his first voice actor role, Gustav's voice actor delivers an exceptional performance, completely drawing me into the character and his emotions. And this, from what I just found this out, but like I said, this is his first voice acting role. But Charlie Cox, he's the same individual who plays the blind lawyer, and he plays Matt Murdock, or the Daredevil, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he's a good actor, but this is his first voice acting game. Now, of course, we know from when I think it was Mortal Kombat. Well, I think it was 1. Or the reboot of everything, but I think it was Megan Fox who played as one of the characters, and her voice acting was horrible. So his first voice acting role, Gustav's voice actor just delivers quite an exceptional performance, and like he really draws out everything that this game has to offer, and really pushed me forward to like, dude, I want to see more from this game. And all the other voice actors too, like when you're talking to everybody, it's just like, dude, this is incredibly finished. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me we got a good story, we got good combat, the visuals look great, the audio design is fucking amazing, we have ourselves a recipe of success. And that is exactly what Expedition 33 is going through right now. Because of that success overall, they have 50,000 plus people playing their game. They're getting already talked about Game of the Year contender, which they better fucking be. And especially coming out in the time where Oblivion got shadow dropped out of the blue, is like they had a lot of competition and they're exceeding. And I feel like this game would definitely push the narrative that the gaming industry needs to give indie devs back, like put more faith into them, and we need to fund these guys even more and really go in. I've been a complete advocate. If you go any of my indie game videos on my channel right now, I am an advocate when it comes to indie devs are literally shitting on AAA studios, and it's not even funny. Every time a brand new indie game come out that is massive or good, it just proves that point, pushes that narrative across the board that like indie devs need more love, indie games need more love. I wish they can get a better, like put them on a higher pedestal and get all this greatness. Like the fact that this was 30 people alone, Expedition 33 is going to be probably one of the games to play for ages to come, 10 years from now, 15 from now, and it will still look good. And I have faith that the ex-Ubisoft dev team can be able to get us something better as time goes on. Hopefully we get more games from them. I want to see more of what they can do, especially if they keep putting their heart and soul into it. We'll get more great bangers. And honestly, it's a fuck you to Ubisoft, because like you guys fired, laid off, whatever. You guys were not doing great, which anybody who has lived under a rock would know that Ubisoft isn't doing great right now when it comes to their overall video games and their employees. But like, you guys are making one of the biggest gaming companies out there look like a fool, and it's hilarious. So let me know what you guys think about Expedition 33. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you want to talk more about this stuff outside of YouTube, I got my Discord in the link below. But other than that, let me know in the comment section what you think. Stay safe out there. It's been your host, Chaos TV, signing out. Peace.